Top Judge Judy producer once made pig noises when he found litigants unattractive and told producers he didn't want too many black litigants, former employees claimed. Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Hope you all are enjoying, so let's begin. Judith Scheindlin's long-standing executive producer, Randy Douthit, routinely mocked and made crude comments about litigants who appeared on Judge Judy, according to conversations with former employees and claims made in court records. In the control room, Douthit openly talked about female litigants' breasts during show tapings and discussed whether they were too ugly or too fat, according to allegations in a lawsuit filed by a former segment producer named Sean Griggs in 2001. Griggs said Douthit made pig or cow noises when he found litigants unattractive, called a black guest a hoe, and said he wanted to get with litigants he found attractive. In court filings, Douthit denied calling a black litigant a hoe and said, "I don't believe so," when asked whether he made pig noises. When asked if he ever made crude comments in the booth or on taping days, he said, "I hope not. I may have, but I hope not." That case was later dismissed by the judge on a summary judgment motion. In response to questions about the Griggs lawsuit, Douthit's lawyer wrote that the allegations pertaining to Mr. Douthit in this lawsuit were completely false. He also noted that the trial court determined that based upon the undisputed material facts, the plaintiff's claims failed as a matter of law. As part of a longer insider investigation into Judge Judy, 7 former employees said that Douthit made crude comments about the show's guests, many of whom are of limited means. He'd make comments about their weight, he'd make comments about their teeth, or if they were disabled. Kirsten Haynes, a former producer who left the show in 2021, told Insider. According to a sampling of written reports from Douthit, in which he graded producers' cases, and which were reviewed by Insider, he called litigants gross and low-rent. He definitely didn't talk about them like they were people. It was like they were subhuman, one former associate producer said. Douthit's lawyer told Insider that Douthit categorically denied engaging in racism or any other abusive conduct towards members of the show's production or its participants. Mr. Douthit has always fostered a supportive, productive, safe, and inclusive work environment for everyone involved in the show. It is apparent that Insider is relying largely, if not entirely, upon questionable, uncorroborated sources, disgruntled former employees, and unfounded allegations, the vast majority of which date back 15 to 20 years, to paint a false narrative regarding Mr. Douthit and the show. According to former employees, they were required to submit photos of litigant candidates to Douthit and Victoria Genest, the show's supervising producer. These people said that Douthit was particularly concerned with the show's guests' teeth. There were many times people would show up without teeth, and it was a nightmare, since you'd get in big trouble if that happened, the associate producer said. Douthit would be like, "Who is this disgusting person?" According to another lawsuit, filed in 2009 by a former senior producer named Jonathan Sebastian, Douthit also told producers, "We're not doing any more black shows, and I don't want to hear black people arguing." In a deposition taken during the case, Douthit said he screened litigants in an attempt to mirror the population of the country. Asked whether he remembered telling producers to screen out black litigants, Douthit said he couldn't recall. Sebastian was fired in March 2007. He reached a settlement agreement for an undisclosed amount in May 2009. He did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Douthit's lawyers told Insider that the allegations concerning Mr. Douthit in this lawsuit were entirely false. 6 former staffers told Insider that Douthit told employees he didn't want too many black litigants on the show. One said this behavior continued into 2021. "I guess they felt like Judy's demographic were middle-aged white people at home, and they wanted to continue to skew to that demographic," one producer told Insider. New York 8, CBS New York. For a decade and a half, Judge Judy has been 4 p.m. appointment television here on CBS2. While she remains a staple before our broadcast, she is now venturing into streaming entertainment. Judy Justice debuted Monday. On the show, you will notice significant changes, a new look, new cast, and new format. But as for Judge Judy herself, well, she remains as sharp and witty as ever. "Do you remember when we met?" CBS2 anchor Christine Johnson asked Judy Scheindlin recently. "It was a long time ago," she responded. FLSBASTK, Judge Judy leaving show after 25 seasons. almost 15 years to be exact. Pregnant and newly hired at CBS 2, Johnson flew to Los Angeles to interview Scheindlin on the set of Judge Judy. Fast forward, they recently met again, this time at her Connecticut home to learn more about Judy Justice. "Were you nervous about a new venture?" Johnson asked. "No, I wasn't nervous. If somebody said to me, 'We're going to write a sitcom. We have a perfect part for you,' I would be stepping out of my lane and I know I would have failed," Scheindlin said. "So Judy Justice is still in my lane, only we've decorated the house differently," she added. "I noticed the robe is a different color," Johnson said. "First of all, I look better in high color, and I said, 'Where is it written in the Torah that it has to be a black robe?'" Scheindlin said. "I changed the color into something a little more modern, and I brought in my granddaughter with me who's finishing up law school." She was referring to Sarah Rose, who joins her grandmother serving as her law clerk. Rounding out the new cast is court stenographer Whitney Kumar and bailiff Kevin Rasco. Each will have interactive roles, resembling a real-life family court setting, which Judge Judy used to preside in New York City. "I think these cases are terrific. I think the addition of these people in front of the camera are terrific. I think people are going to enjoy it," Scheindlin said. Judge Judy attracts fans from across the world with her wit, which she says stems from her intolerance of people who lack respect and responsibility. "I know there are a lot of snowflakes out there who say, 'Oh no, that's not the way you should be talking to people.' Well, that's true. I mean, if you think that I could get away with this judicial demeanor if I was sitting on the Supreme Court in New York State, I probably couldn't," she said. One similarity you'll notice Judge Judy carried over is her new hairstyle, which caused a stir on social media with fans when she made the change. "With COVID, I'm not really good at being face-to-face with people. I'm uncomfortable with it, because we're older and more vulnerable. So I said I'll do my own hair and makeup," Scheindlin said. "Are we going to be okay? This has been a rough year and a half," Johnson said. "I think we can't get caught up in the idea that either you're for us or you're against us. This is the greatest country in the world. If we weaken that country with a we-them mentality, we become a weak country," Scheindlin said. Judy Justice is streaming on Prime Video, and you can still watch Judge Judy on CBS 2 at 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Judith Scheindlin occupies a nearly divine perch in television. The 5'2" family court judge, known for her black robe, lace collar, and acid tongue, has been doling out tough love legal verdicts since the Clinton administration, and the approach has paid off. She brought in a whopping $47 million a year for just 52 days a year of filming at CBS, and she has held onto the sort of cultural cachet that has eluded many of her contemporaries. Following a public dispute with CBS, said to be over money and, improbably, Drew Barrymore's talk show, Judge Judy wrapped in spring of this year, Amazon quickly stepped in, paying Scheindlin an estimated $25 million for 120 new episodes of Judy Justice, which the company hopes will serve as a cornerstone of its IMDb TV-free streaming service. The deal was reportedly the largest ever first-season order of a single show by a streamer. Judy Justice launched on Monday. In a recent New York Times interview, Scheindlin said that while her robe would change color for the new show, from black to a deep maroon, she intended to keep the legacy of the original production going, including her hard-nosed, moralizing style. "I bring eyeballs because at least for 1 hour a day, people see that someone is holding the line," she said. "I'm unafraid to call out irresponsible, un-American behavior. If we settle for mediocrity, we get what we deserve." But some of Scheindlin's former colleagues, dating back to the mid-aughts until the show wrapped, say she failed to hold the line against racism, sexual harassment, and abuse at her own show. An insider investigation involving interviews with 16 former Judge Judy employees, as well as a review of thousands of pages of court records, has found that Scheindlin's long-standing executive producer and director Randy Douthit has repeatedly been accused of sexually harassing employees, making inappropriate sexual comments to female staffers, offering preferential treatment to staffers he found attractive, and ordering junior producers to bring fewer black litigants on the show.